All right, so should we dive in with question number 1?
Yeah.
Yes.
You want to go first?
So, like, a big fan favourite was how quickly will I start making money as an NLP4Kids practitioner?
Okay, shall I take that question?
Yeah.
All right, so in terms of how quickly you start to get a return on investment, it depends on, there's a few different factors that influence it. One is going to be your level of productivity post-training. So the sooner you get things like getting your website content created and getting that website published, starting running advertising, for example, Facebook advertising, and just reaching out in your community, that's obviously going to expedite the speed with which things start to happen. Some of it, so we were just talking to someone actually about schools and how proactive and interactive they might be with us. If you are someone who sees this business as, I'm going to be working with children in schools, that is all I need for my NLP4Kids life, your speed with which you make back your money will be slower, because schools take a lot of time and effort to get them really engaged, and certainly to get them dipping into their budget. Even when we've got funding in place for them, it doesn't guarantee that they're going to act quickly. So I would say on average, you know, the sort of relationship building time with the school might be 3 or 4 months. Would that be fair to say?
I would say so.
From, you know, start of process to end. So if schools is all that you're interested in, on the other side of your NLP4Kids training, you're going to have a 4 month delay before you potentially start to see some money coming in. If you are a bit more business minded about things and you are up for doing one-to-one sessions in the community, you are up for doing community workshops, you're up for doing even some online stuff like webinars, you're going to turn that around so much more quickly. You may be ready with your website content before you've even completed the training, in which case we're just hitting publish on all of the various different buttons, and within, I would say within 6 weeks you might have started to see your first one-to-one clients. I know sometimes they come in through us as well, through the main office. So I'm just thinking of someone like Julie, who's pretty new. It was on, when she was last on training, she got her first inquiry, didn't she? So
and bear in mind, she hadn't really done anything.
No, she hadn't.
Like
in November.
In the way to like market and advertise herself. She hadn't done anything.
She didn't have a website yet.
No, and now she's breaking it in.
She's got loads of them.
So and that's been probably instigated more through the inquiries that come in through the main office. But the more that you do for yourself with your own marketing, the more control you will have over that, you know, initial chunk of income starting to come in. So yeah, does that answer that question?
I think it did.
All right.
How much of my initial investment could I earn back?
Well, all of it, ideally.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
Have we got another?
Have we got a question or a comment?
Or is it just as someone?
How much?
I'm
on the move. How much does this all cost to train?
Good question. So we have 3 levels of training. So I'm just like jumping in. So
Go for it. Yeah.
So there are 3 levels of training. Your foundation level, so the one you have to do to really get cracking with stuff, is the silver level. The silver level training is £6,000 when you pay in full, and that includes your VAT is all paid in that, your certification costs, test paper marking, home study manuals, the live training, and postage. You get 3 months free membership with the Association of NLP in there. Your playbooks, which are in digital format, we issue to you for working with children and young people. So you've got those forever as well. Are all included within that initial startup investment. The next level up from there is our parents and teachers training. And if you get that one with the previous level, so you get both levels, then it is £9,000. And the next level up from there is hypnotherapy for kids. So if you do all 3 levels, it's £12,000. You can start with the minimum level and then upgrade at a later stage, and it doesn't cost you any more. You just pay the cost difference in order to upgrade yourself to the next level of training. You can pay by instalments. It works out more expensive if you do. I think that covers it.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. All right. What else?
Do you have to have any specific qualifications in order to join the team?
Okay, someone else can answer that one.
No, you don't. So we DBS check all of our training delegates to make sure that they are suitable to be trained by us. Other than that, no other qualifications are needed. It can help if you've got experience in working with children or in mental health or in business or NLP. But some of our most successful practitioners had no background in working with children, no background in business, no background in mental health at all, because we do all of the training for you.
Yeah. And the other thing to mention is that, as well as DBS checks, so we have to be able to get you insured, so you have to have a level of insurance. You will go through a health questionnaire. Obviously, like things like the equal opportunities is all part of the application. Interview, and you have to create a business plan. So when you go from, you've got kind of two things that you can do. You can just do the training and then do your own thing with it. If you actually want to join the team and be part of the franchise, then there is all of those bits that we've just talked about. One of which is you have to complete a business plan, and that's so that we know that, you know, once we've got you licensed, that you've made a commitment to the level of output you will do over the next 12 months in order to make your business successful and to justify the training that you've paid for and the monthly fees that you'll be paying as part of the franchise team thereafter. So from a qualification perspective, I would say those are sort of the main things.
You don't need those to train.
No, you don't.
Anyone, as long as they've been DBS checked, can train with us.
Yeah.
Just quickly following on from the business plan as well, it's a really good guide for you on the way of like your business journey. So if you're not earning as much as you think you might be, it's a good way for you to go back to it and be like, well, actually, I'm not doing that. Or I could do more of this, which will get me this. So that's just another thing I think to mention about the business.
Sets you on the right path with things.
Yeah, definitely.
Someone has asked if they can do this if they live in Canada.
Oh, good question. So the answer is yes, but there's a few different ways to consider doing it. So number one option, which is probably the easiest, would be to just do to get hold of our home study manual. So with the home study manual, there's no live training attached to it. There's also not any certification though as well. The reason why we don't certificate people through home study is because you're going to be working with children, and we don't want to go sticking our stamp on that unless we've met you and done all of the checks that we would ordinarily do, one of which is spending at least 4 days, lots of classroom so we know who you are. But if you just, you know, if you're maybe a qualified practitioner already, or if you've got an existing practice, or you're a teacher or a TA and you just want to have those skills, then the home study manual will certainly give you those extras to get you up and running. The other option would be that you come to the UK and actually attend live training with us. We'd love to have you here. And option number 3 is that I come to Canada.
We're always down for.
Yeah, as it happens, I've got some family over there, so I wouldn't mind at all. Ideally, what we'd do is we would look to get a group together so that it's not like a one-on-one training, because it wouldn't obviously give either of us the best possible experience of it all. So depending on what your circumstances are, we could work with you to say, here's some information, some literature to maybe share with the NLP practice groups that you go to, or the other teachers that you work with, or other people that might be interested in this field. These are some groups that we would suggest you reach out to. If we can get 5 or more people on a training over there, we'll be there. So
We've got some more. We've got loads coming in.
Yay!
I have to keep coming up and down. So Victoria wants to know, what are the average annual earnings? And James would like us to know that he's an NLP and TLT practitioner already.
Oh, James.
James lives in Canada.
Good job.
love it. Right, so James is going to be well connected then.
Yes.
Love that. All
Get
right,
your
James.
groups together, James.
Yeah,
we'll
James,
come to Canada.
we're sending you on a mission.
I'll pack my bags.
We'll be in touch in a week. We expect results, James. So what was it?
Average annual income.
Average. Well, I guess if we're averaging it, then it's everybody all wrapped up into one, which is less easy to answer because I don't know the answer. In terms of individually, so I can give you the sort of wide variance on it. So we have practitioners who are seeing, well, we talked about this example a bit.
We
earlier,
did,
didn't we?
yeah.
So we have a practitioner that in the last week saw 7 new clients in a day, charging £95 per session.
£95.
And we'll continue to sort of work in that kind of vein, I would assume, for the rest of the life of NLP4Kids, because he's got a good marketing strategy that he's following. So for someone that's working at his kind of level, you can expect your annual income to be somewhere between 60 to 85,000 a year. Equally, we have some practitioners who do nothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
In which case, they get nothing.
Yeah, well, they're in minus numbers.
Well,
because
true.
they're paying the
Yeah,
license
they pay
fees,
for stuff,
but not doing anything.
No.
So yeah, the real question is, how hard are you going to work? How structured will you be? How much marketing are you going to do? The work is there. You know, there are enough children with mental health issues, and enough families struggling with emotional well-being challenges.
Definitely.
For you to make a significant amount of money,
100%.
but you do have to do the work. You get tons of support from the office and loads of resources from us as well to be able to do that, but we're not going to get you out of bed at 9 o'clock in the morning. You've got to do that bit on your own. And yeah, you know, we'll provide you with templates right down to structuring your day on a 15-minute by 15-minute basis. If it comes to it, then that's the sort of level of support that we provide for you, but it really is down to you to sort of do the output side of it to get those kind of results. So I think it would be fair to say, in terms of your annual income, it could be between 0 and up to 85,000.
And it depends on how many days. Some of our practitioners only work 2 days a week.
True.
So you're going to obviously make less
Yeah.
than a practitioner that works 6 days a week.
Yeah.
So it just depends on what works best for you, and what you want will then impact how much you make. What you set your prices at will impact how much you make.
Yeah. So probably myself and Ian are the top paid practitioners.
I think so, yeah.
And we are full-time NLP4Kids. Well, actually, I'm not really. I'm kind of full-time NLP4Kids and full-time people building and
full-time
superheroes.
Full-time
carer.
superhero, Gemma.
Just a full-time superhero.
Heavy title for Bear. We've got some more.
Okay.
This is exciting. Can you help refine the business plan based upon my goals?
Ooh.
That's Victoria again.
Okay. Can we help refine the business plan? Yeah, of course.
I think so. I would say
We'll
just
need to
fill in
know
the
what your
bits.
goals are.
Yeah, I would say just fill in the bits that you want to do.
Yeah.
And that will give you the answer.
It's very customisable.
The business plan is so broad, would you say?
So
Like
the
it's-
business plan includes everything about everything.
Yeah.
There are all of your possible options
Like
for
routes.
how you might work. And if you don't want to do any of those areas of work, it tells you in there, like, zero those out so that it doesn't skew your numbers. So you only populate the data with the areas of work you actually want to do.
Yeah.
But I think maybe what Victoria's saying is she might have some additional ideas that we haven't got in the plan.
Oh,
that
then
she wants to
yeah,
include.
let us know.
Then
we can fiddle some things around.
And
yeah, she
also-
might have some really good ideas.
And also equally, if there's anything that like we're not already doing that you want to be doing, like let us know, let your key worker know, send us an email. And like I said it to the lady today, didn't I? I was like, full steam ahead, like crack on.
Yeah.
You know, if there's something you're like, I really want to do this, but I just don't know if it's like okay to do. My answer will be crack on. Let me know how it goes.
I would say one of the good, it's like a good thing and a bad thing. So a really good thing with NLP4Kids is because it's technically a license and not a franchise. So it means that there's a bit more flexibility in there about how you work and what you might do. And you can come to us and say, I've got a project idea. And if we can support you in rolling with that, we absolutely will. The downside is that it gives you so many options. I think sometimes people
It's a
get
bit overwhelming.
Yeah, because they're like,
Yeah,
should I do after
definitely.
school club? Should I be in school? Should I see one-to-ones?
I
Should
know.
I work with teachers? Yeah, they're like, I take on the world!
I know. And then actually they go, I can't do it.
Focus on one
And
at a
obviously,
time.
like, that's the last thing that we want. We don't want you to get
Yeah.
overwhelmed.
Don't
We
want you to
want
burn out.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think depending on how well you can cope with things and how well you can multitask,
Yeah, you can then take on
you
more.
then can take
Yeah,
on more.
yeah.
But also, we're not. we're not shy to tell you that you can't do it.
Well, so I was doing mentoring the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and this was one of our practitioners who is like super motivated and is one of those people that was like, I want to do everything, like from the very beginning. But it was a bit like a sort of scattergun, you know, like there was, you know, letters going to all different places and meetings
different
in all
fingers
different
in
places.
honey pots.
Yeah, lots of different fingers in different pies, and has got so far forward, but then kind of gone, like, I don't know where I'm going from here. And we had the conversation about, you know, find yourself a niche, really push forward in one particular area. The rest will kind of build itself into the mix eventually, but you have got to start with some sort of focus there, I think.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Got another one?
All right.
Rachel said, do you send samples of the materials? Ooh. No.
No.
We'll send you a sample child.
I think she means like samples of the manuals, the resources we have.
To be honest, no. And I'll tell you why, is because as a company, we have and continue to generate so much content. If you want samples, go to our YouTube channel. There are 2 videos that go out every month. We've got another company, People Building. That one sends out a video every month. There is a podcast every month. There is an article every month. There is social media posts every day. There is Instagram every single day.
Ebooks get released.
Webinars probably every other month.
Facebook Live.
Facebook Live now. We do a webinar every other month. We've got a library of previous webinars.
Got a book.
We got a book.
Yeah.
So that would be my answer to samples, is just look at what stuff is
There's
already
a lot
out
of
there.
stuff
Out
And
there.
if you're talking samples as in like the materials, the manuals, we always have discovery day as well,
we
where
come
you can
see
come,
them.
see them.
Touch them.
I was going to say that! I was going to say, you can feel them.
Give it a sniff.
You can smell them, you can lick it, but I wouldn't recommend it. But yeah, come to discovery day, like touch it, read through it, you know, all of that kind of jazz, I would say.
And I do feel Discovery Day is almost like a sample day of
In itself,
what training is like.
You get to try out some technique. It's quite a try before you buy thing. You get taught some techniques and some strategies, and you get to have a play.
And as well, I think it's Discovery Day, it's so different to speaking to someone on the phone or like, you know, like texting or emailing, but like Discovery Day, we're physically there. Like, again, you can touch us.
Please don't.
But don't. Do you know what I mean though? So it's like we're physically there. We're there to answer any questions that come up on that day. You know, you're not waiting a day or two for a response.
Sometimes there's practitioners there with us.
Practitioners
as well,
are there, and you know, I always urge people to go and speak to existing practitioners, because it's all very well me sitting here going, yeah, I think you can do it, you can do this, you can do that. I haven't done it.
We have.
Like they have, I haven't. So very mad, talk to them. But equally, like practitioners going to be there again. You can talk to them. You can get a feel for everything. You can get a feel for like what Gemma's like, for what she's going to be like on the training.
Insane.
Box of frogs. So yeah, I would agree. That's like a sample day in
good
itself.
sample day.
Yeah.
Right, we've got another one.
All right.
That's
Love
it.
it. Love that you're getting up.
I know.
This
It's
is like exercise.
I know we're here. Like,
Your camera is landscape, as can only see you on your side. Your camera is not landscape, as I can only see you on your side.
Oh.
Well, Richard, thank you for letting us know.
I sort of knew that.
don't actually know how to fix this.
We do, but we just didn't have time to fill about with the tripod because we also had a
people were
meeting.
already here as well.
Yeah. So
We'll just be
So
horizontal
really,
for today.
I blame you.
But thanks for letting us know, Richard. We appreciate it.
all right. Other questions.
Am I geographically restricted?
All right. Does anyone want to take that one?
Go on, Megan.
No, you're not. There are far too many children with mental health issues to restrict practitioners by locations. So here in Hemel, we worked out we've got about 6 or 7 NLP4Kids practitioners trained and working in and around the area. There are 50 odd, 60 odd
like
primary
that.
schools in Hemel Hempstead.
Yeah.
There are around about 20 secondary schools in Hemel Hempstead. There are far too many kids than for one person to do. So if we sectioned off Hemel Hempstead for just Gemma, so many kids would go unhelped. So we don't geographically restrict it. you're never going to be stepping on anyone's toes. All of the practitioners in Hemel have enough clients to be getting along with. And equally, if you move and decide to up sticks and go across the country,
you can
take this with you. You don't want to have to like buy up another section of the country. So no, we don't geographically restrict you because there's too many kids that need our help, and we don't want to limit you in where you can go in the future.
Yep. Good answer.
Oh, we've got another person watching.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Welcome. Hello. Hi.
One of the ones that came up is, are you employed by NLP4Kids if you join the team, or are you self-employed?
So you will either be self-employed or you will be a director of your own company. So if you are like brand new to self-employment, or just working independently, then self-employment is probably the best way to get yourself set up and the most cost-effective. There does come a point when having your own limited company makes more sense. Certainly once you start transactioning a bit more money, then being a company director is more beneficial, sometimes for tax reasons, sometimes just for sort of protection. As well, like business protection, then it can work out better at that stage. But actually, no one's employed by NLP4Kids. NLP4Kids does not have any employees at all.
No, it doesn't.
So no, you won't be. We don't run any payroll.
And going on from that, how do I get paid? What happens with like national insurance and tax and VAT and all the like accounting side of it?
Okay, so in terms of your income and how you get paid, it depends somewhat on the stream of work that you're doing. So if you're seeing one-to-one clients and you're working with families, very often, more often than not, they're going to pay you directly. So you might charge them via PayPal, bank transfer, cash, just take their money however they offer it to you. If you are working with schools, usually we have set that contract up so the school will pay NLP4Kids, and then you'll invoice NLP4Kids at the end of each month by the 28th, and then we'll get that paid for you on the 28th of each month. If you are doing maybe some work for our not-for-profit company, which is Superheroes, then you will invoice Superheroes directly, and Superheroes will then pay your invoice on the 28th of each month. In terms of tax and national insurance, so if you are not remaining employed elsewhere, you will need to pay national insurance because you won't be paying it through your employment anymore. So as a self-employed person, you have to pay it independently. So you will get a monthly bill for your national insurance contributions, and then for your tax, it is paid annually. You can do self-assessment online to figure out what your tax bill will be. My recommendation is that you keep by 25% of all of your income, and that will make sure that you've got all of your tax and NI paid for each of the bills that come in. Okay? You're welcome. All right, what other questions have we got?
I've asked the last few, you can give some of your ones. Who have you got?
Let me have a little look. Am I still able to work under your umbrella if I don't license with you?
Okay. You can do that one.
No.
I asked the question.
You can't. You will, if you train with us and qualify, and don't join the team, you will still have the qualification. You will be, I believe, trained NLP4Kids practitioner or trained practitioner of NLP4Kids, because it is a recognised modality and form of therapy. But you won't get to use our branding, our logos. We will still send you the workbooks, but they will be unbranded, so you can still use the resource, but just not the branding. And you also don't have any of the benefits and the support that NLP4Kids offer. But you still get the qualification. You can still go off and use NLP4Kids in your own right.
Yep, good answer.
Thank you.
All right, is there anything else? Any other questions that we had that came in?
No, but 2 new people have joined.
Welcome.
Hello! Hi, welcome to Chili's.
There's something that I don't...
Paula's watching.
Hi, Paula.
Hi, Paula.
So there's a...
Quick question.
about how to become a practitioner. One of the things that no one's asked about, which I think is maybe because we don't boast about it enough, but I would just like to mention, is last year we conducted a pilot study into the effectiveness of NLP4Kids for young people with anxiety. And if I had my phone here, I could tell you what the results of the data were, but I can't remember the numbers off the top of my head. But in short, we were measuring how well our specific program that we run called Overcome Anxiety, how well that impacted on children with anxiety and depression, and what results it brought about. And this was a clinical study in collaboration with a company called Our Healthy Future. They specialise in helping organisations who work in alternative fields to demonstrate that what they deliver actually has a measurable impact, and they're based over at Alder Hey Children's Hospital. So we did our pilot study last year, and the results were like really, really good. So there is a video about that on YouTube where it kind of shares all the data and talks you through, you know, what the original scores were versus what the scores were at the end, both with the anxiety and the depression and the two together. So if you haven't seen that stuff, that's well worth checking out, because I know it's one of the things people often wonder about is NLP isn't a kind of recognised field, and it's still classed as alternative. And it's, you know, the NHS don't recognise it, for example. And what we want to do with NLP4Kids to sort of mark it out slightly differently from all of the other fabulous NLP trainings that exist is that we can prove that what we deliver actually has a measurable
100%.
impact on the young people that we work with, and we've got data to prove it. So that's worth mentioning.
That is well done, us. Yes. Right, James said, can I get a link for all the pricing and dates of when you're having classes?
Hella yeah!
Pop us a message over, private message us, we'll get back to you.
You can probably find her, because she must have come in through either Kids or my Facebook.
I think James will be on there, yeah.
Yes. We'll send you a message, we'll let you know. Yeah, we'll send over all the info.
No worries at all.
Alright. And anything else that we haven't addressed that people have said?
How important is niching or specialising in a particular area?
Very. So NLP4Kids is obviously a niche in itself already, because it's NLP but specifically for children and young people. But there are specific issues that young people struggle with. So I know anxiety is like a big one on the agenda at the moment. And sometimes, you know, we're going to get inquiries about that regardless, so it doesn't necessarily make a good niche. Sometimes a good niche is the more bizarre and unusual stuff. So for a long time my niche has been selective mutism. So that's when a child has the physical ability to speak, but through sort of anxiety-related circumstances doesn't. And usually it starts when they first start school, or they school transition, or you know, there's a big sort of change in the family, something like that might kick it off. And having that niche means that I can make my marketing a lot more specific. It's much more streamlined, so that I can really reach my target audience much more easily. It also sort of elevates the perception of my expertness in that field, which is obviously a very useful thing. And it means that I'm not restricted to just seeing clients in the local area. I've had people come from, you know, far away to travel to see and work with me specifically. So yeah, having that sort of extra refinement on what it is you're doing in your business will really help you to target the right people.
And sometimes you choose your niche, and sometimes your niche chooses you. Wow. So one of our practitioners, I think, has been fighting their niche for a while.
I know what you're talking about.
A lot of her inquiries that have come in have been around toileting issues, through complete flukes. Just a whole bunch of them is around like bedwetting or refusing to go to the loo, all sorts of things. And it's like, well, it's found you. This is now your niche. This is what you're a specialist in. So sometimes you can choose it. One of our practitioners has chosen to kind of specialise in bereavement, and has had a lot of clients come to her because she is saying, I specialise in bereavement. Sometimes you just get a lot of bedwetters that come to you, and that's it. That's you from now on.
Yeah, that's who you are. You're the bedwetting
lady.
Oh dear. Alright, is there anything else then that we haven't covered? Or anything else from you guys that are out there? How many people are watching?
I don't know.
Nine. Okay.
Big numbers.
I know, like the audience size is overwhelming. Any other questions? Any other questions from anyone else out there? Please send them in now. That's
Someone's just started joining.
All right, welcome along.
Have you got any questions?
Yeah, because otherwise we're wrapping this up.
I think
I've got to go and buy Lego. Any others that you had that came in?
I've got an interesting one that I saw was how do I make myself credible if I'm just starting out?
Okay. Do you want to take that one?
So if you've never worked with a client before yet, or you've never done schools before, how do you get credibility and make them trust you?
So there's a few ways. One of it is you can pick it back off our credibility. You're licensed with us, you're part of the team. You've got the branding. You can be like, these aren't, even though the testimonials aren't yours, but I'm part of NLP4Kids and these are our testimonials.
Yeah, they tend to be quite
generic.
No names are mentioned in
and
the data.
Articles as well. So every month you get a marketing kit. It's got articles, it's got social media posts, and you kind of put your own opinion on that article. You put your own
your own spin on it.
Yeah, kind of thing. And also the other way as well is to a lot of our practitioners like to charge a little bit less than what they'd like to when they first start out. And then once they get their credibility up, they get their clients up, they can be like, actually, no, I can charge what I want to charge, because people already know that you're good at what you do. People are already going to pay that money for you. So I would say that's how you could get your credibility.
Some of them do their first couple of clients with either friends or family or kids or friends and family,
just to get
the word out and say, oh well, actually I worked with a client last week. Doesn't just tell them it's your niece.
Exactly.
So that's another little way that some people do it, is through people who they already know.
I would also say your marketing comes into this as well, because if you have a YouTube channel, if you do Facebook Live, if you have presence on the internet, all of that is part of your credibility.
Yeah,
because,
100%.
If the school then does a little Google search on you and you've filled up page 1 with posts about all your different social media streams or content that you've put out there,
articles you've written,
makes you look a bit more established and just a bit more serious about what you're doing here. Whereas I've just noticed that my kids,
I know, I've just clocked him as well. Hi baby.
Whereas if you are a little bit more underground, here's what I think: you can't be quiet and have credibility.
Absolutely not.
If you want that credibility, you're going to have to put yourself out there, let people know that you exist, make a little bit of noise,
a little bit of fake it till you make it. You've got to have that confidence
to
of,
a degree.
I do know what I'm doing. Here's an article I've written about it.
You do have to be bold. You do have to be confident.
100%. I would definitely say boldness comes into it massively. You can't. It's such a way where it's you can't just expect things to happen. Sometimes, just in life in general, you have to just put yourself out there and just see what happens. If you get rejected, you get rejected. I know. Here are the wise words. And I feel that with the credibility, just need to put yourself out there. Like Megan said, if you believe in this is what I do, I'm good at this, look at everything that I've done, people are going to be like, oh damn. They got a book out. They're serious.
They know what they're talking about.
Exactly.
Good stuff. All right, so we'll tidy this video up. We'll turn it around the right way.
Get rid of the first half of it.
Get rid of the first half while I was clambering over the sofa. If you missed that, you missed a treat.
Honestly.
You also missed our breakfast recommendations, so...
Totally. It's worth a rewatch.
Who's the fool now?
Alright, and if there's nothing from anyone else that's watching, then thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
This was quite good fun.
I loved it.
This is our first one.
Yeah.
And if you've got any questions that spring to mind, pop us a message over.
And equally, if you want us to do another one about a different topic or something that we didn't mention today, let us know and we can get it scheduled in and we can go live again.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
someone says,
You're amazing. Thank you
Someone
so
says
much.
thank you, ladies. Oh, Victoria, thank you.
Oh,
welcome.
anytime.
Too far off.
All right, good stuff. We're done.
Yeah, brilliant.
Okay, bye.
Bye.